Well, meantime, at the State House, Republican state lawmakers are moving forward with a bill that would require schools to notify parents if a student asks to change their name or pronoun, one of two controversial bills moving forward this week dealing with transgender youth. State House reporter Kristen Eskow has the latest.
The Senate Education Committee passed the bill along party lines, with Republicans voting in favor of it and Democrats against it. It came after a roughly 2.5-hour hearing on the bill. Supporters of transgender rights rallying for the second day in a row at the Indiana State House. The bill heard Wednesday would require schools to notify parents if a student requests to change their name or pronouns. Republican State Representative Michelle Davis is the bill's author.
Parents should not be cut out of the decision making, and schools should not shield a parent from knowledge about their child.
An amendment was approved Wednesday that would require notification of any name change or nickname request, regardless of whether there's a change in gender identity. The bill also mandates parental consent for a student to be called by a different name or pronouns. Chris Paulson, who works with transgender kids through the Indiana Youth Group, opposes the measure.
This bill would force teachers to out students who might be LGBTQ. If a student is not ready to come out to their parents, making teachers out them is dangerous to those students.
Most who testified Wednesday were against the bill, but two spoke in support, arguing the bill protects parents' rights. Micah Clark is with the American Family Association.
If first grader Johnny says, "I'm a girl," and the teacher says, "No, you're a boy, and here's why," or if the teacher says, "Yes, John, you are now Jane," either response could upset parents. The best answer is you can talk to your parents about this.
It was the second time this week that lawmakers heard a bill focused on transgender youth, as the House took up a bill banning gender transitioning care for minors. State Senator Tyler Johnson is leading the Republican-backed effort.
It would cause far less harm for these kids to wait, get the counseling they need, and then let them make these life-altering decisions as adults.
Johnson's bill would ban anyone under age 18 from receiving gender transitioning surgeries, hormone treatments, and puberty blockers. Several parents emotionally testified about the potential impact of stopping this care for transgender youth, including Larisha Hanks.
According to this bill, I only have a few months left to enjoy having my son back. A few months of smiles and laughter before the consequences of this bill will suck the life out of him.
But others argue children are too young to make decisions about gender-affirming care. Sandra Roberts shared her experience of reversing her transition.
I was 26 when I began testosterone. I believe that being an adult saved me from further damage. I did not interrupt my developing body, and I was able to recognize that testosterone was not helping anything.
The committee passed the bill mostly along party lines, with all but one of the Republicans supporting it. Democrats argue these kinds of decisions should be left to doctors and families. Democratic State Senator J.D. Ford believes it sends a strong message.
They're certainly not bending over backwards to make it life easy for these folks. And I think it's really sad because at the end of the day, these students are watching what we do here.
Now that the Senate Education Committee has approved the bill, it heads to the full Senate for consideration. That's where lawmakers may introduce and consider more amendments. At the State House, I'm Kristen Eskow.
Kristen, thanks. Meantime, the other bill moving forward was passed by a House committee this past week and now moves to the full House. This week we heard from legislative leaders on both sides.
How do you square that bill with your caucus's advocacy for parents' rights?
Because I think, we again, this is about protecting young people, and we view that to be, incredibly important.
You used to have the value that, the government stayed out of people's households. We're seeing a lot of ideology being passed over here in the General Assembly, and yeah, it's taking up a lot of time.
Meantime, more than 250 Hoosier healthcare professionals signed onto a letter opposing that bill moving forward in the House. They delivered that letter to lawmakers this past week. The healthcare professionals who delivered the letter call the bill dangerous, in their words.
This bill is going to ban gender-affirming care. We know this care is life-saving, so we know these young people are already at increased risk for depression and suicide. This care often does truly save their lives.
Providers also say they're worried the bill would discourage doctors and nurses from practicing in Indiana. We also spoke this week with Katie Blair from the ACLU of Indiana.
It's important that trans youth and the LGBTQ community broadly see our support for them right now in the face of such hate.
Is it the feeling that this is going to stop treatments or procedures that are already happening right now for Indiana youth under 18?
Yes. Right now, gender affirming care is happening here. That's a wide range of things like counseling, sometimes hormones, things like that doctors work with parents to subscribe or to prescribe. And that's what we're fighting for here today, so that trans youth can live their authentic lives with support from their communities.
All right, coming up next, we'll talk more about the race for president and a war of words between the two leading Republican candidates. But what about Mike Pence? We'll have the latest, and we'll talk with our panel after the break. And later, Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett facing criticism this election year on the left and the right over the issue of crime. Stick around, we'll be right back.